Hello friends and welcome to the channel. I am Vibhu and in this video I want to start a series called Over the Wire Bandit. So Over the Wire Bandit is not something new, it's a really old series, but it is one of the best war games to learn Linux. Now if you're totally new to Linux, I would suggest that you start with this Nullbyte Linux. It is basically a resource written by Occupy the Web, who is, I think, is not real anyway. But here we have a series on Linux basics, and it covers a lot of things regarding linking files, device files, scheduling jobs, manipulating text, etc. So I will be covering everything in the series, and it's a really hand-holding series. So if you are totally new to Linux, that's totally fine. All you need is the installation of Kali Linux, which you can get by Get Kali. Any Linux distro would be fine. I really like to use Kali because of the fact that Kali Linux is kind of an industry standard for penetration testing and red teaming, and you can download it by Get Kali virtual machines, and VMware. This is the download option. It's 3.1 gigabytes of image, and I don't think you can pause it, but if you want to pause it and start it the next day, I would suggest you use torrent. And as for torrent, there is a certain software that I really like called qBittorrent. It's one of my favorite software, and yes, I'm human. Okay, so qBittorrent you can use. Now once that is done, we are in the over the wire bandit, so let's go to level 0. And in this level it is telling us that let's zoom into it. Actually, the goal of this game is for you to log into the game using SSH. Okay, so if you aren't familiar with SSH, you can open up your terminal by using Control Alt T, or if you're using some sort of another terminal, you can use like Terminator. You can install it by typing in sudo apt install -y and typing in Terminator. Okay, so this way you can have Terminator on your system. Now I will be using the default terminal now, but you can use Terminator if you want to. So to log to SSH, let me show you what is SSH. Man SSH, and it's an open SSH remote client login. What does that mean? It means that we can log into any service, or basically two devices that are running SSH, using a secure protocol or using a secure tunnel. So here I can type in SSH. As you can see, we have bandit 0. That's the username that we want to have. This is where we want to connect, and -p is the port 2220. And when I hit enter, it will ask me or prompt me for the password. The password is present here, bandit 0. So let me type it. I mistyped it actually. I think yes I did. So bandit 0, and now we are logged in. Now there are two ways of what's the word, clearing the terminal. One way for to do that is to use clear command, and then another way is to use Control L. Control L actually doesn't clear up the terminal, it just creates a gap so that your prompt can get to the full screen. This is quite handy if you do not want to just type the full clear in the context. Another thing that you can do is you can create an alias. So I can type in subl -zshrc. Since I'm using ZSS shell, you might be using bash, so you can use when you're in bash, you can use subl and bash rc. Okay, and this will open up the bash rc in the sublime text. Here you can create an alias. So I'm not gonna create an alias in bash because I don't really use it, but you can do that. And let's create an alias in zshrc. This is the file that the zsh shell reads when it opens up or gets started in the terminal. So I can click on it, and I can create a new what's the word, alias. I will type in custom aliases. Okay, and the syntax is alias alias cls equal clear. So cls, it does the same thing as clear, and I can create another alias like cc equal clear, because clear is kind of a long word. So to have that in effect, because right now it's not an, it is an effect. Why am I feeling like CC is for something else? Fatal error. Oh, it's for C programming. I cannot do that. That's fine. So I can just type in ZSH and now CLS is active as well. Alright. Okay, so that's out of the way. Now in the Bandit we have a couple of things that are pre-installed for your convenience. We have installed a few tools which you will find in the following locations. So we have Jeff in opt-Jeff, we have Pond debug, we have GDB init, we have Pond tools, we have radar 2. All of these tools are actually for working with binaries, for binary exploitation on Linux world. You're not using that for now, but when we go to the binary exploitation series we will be using all of these tools, especially Jeff and Pond tools are my favorite ones. So let's hit ls and it basically lists the content out of the directory that we are currently present in. So ls, and here I can have a readme file. Now what does readme contain? Well, you can open it up with something like cat, and cat stands for concatenate. It basically means I am giving you a file, I want you to read the content of it and display it onto me in the standard output. The standard output for Linux is by default the terminal. So when I type in readme or paste in, you will see that congratulations on your first step into the Bandit game, and the flag that you're looking for is this one. What I want you to do is to save this flag and to have it in a secure location. Now I currently do not have anything like present here, and as you can see I have used ls, but there are a bunch of these. So I can type in lsd and it shows up with some little nice icons. I can type in eza and it's also the same, but if I use like something like eza-lh, it's kind of a colorful output. But let's create a mkdir, which means make a directory. You can create a directory from the file manager as well, but this is just faster. And if I use -p, it means to create directories recursively. So I can specify a directory path now. For instance, I can write here wargames / bandit, no sorry, / over the wire and / bandit. Okay, and cd. What does actually what does this do? This little semicolon is that once this command gets executed, I want you to execute this command, and what we are going to do is copy this and paste it in here. This way we can move into this directory automatically, the bandit directory, once this is creating using the makedir command. A better approach, I would say, is to use something like $ampersand. What does this do is that it only executes the second command once the first command gets succeeded. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Now that is useful in certain cases where we are in a directory that is actually owned by root or the highest privilege user, and we cannot do something without using the sudo. So it won't give us any error, because if this command fails, then the other command won't even execute in the first place. Okay, so I have this and I will create a new file and I will open it with Sublime Text. If you're not familiar, Sublime Text is one of the most famous text editor for the Linux world, especially Linux world, I would say, because it's really light, and if you're using it on a virtual machine, then VS Code can be quite I would not say heavy, but a bit slow, because it is based on Electron, and Electron is not that fast, to be honest. Now we can install it for Linux using these instructions. All you have to do is copy and paste these commands one by one, and you will have Sublime Text installed. Once it's there, you can use subl to open it up with an existing file, or if you pass in a file that doesn't exist yet, you can just use the name of the file and it will create the file automatically for you. So here, okay, the flag got deleted from me, not a problem. I can capture the flag again, here, copy selection and paste it here. Okay, now I can just exit from here. I think I need to type in quit, but let's see. Okay, great. So I could exit from here there. Now let's go to Google Chrome. And one thing that I forgot to actually tell you is about BR or brute. BR is basically of the terminal file manager. So if I click on here, you can see that it's open up a lot of different things, right? And all of these things are basically directories that it can go into. Plus it can do a lot of things. So for instance, I can br into slash etc, and look, it has opened up all of the files and given us all of the directories in the terminal as well. Great. It's not exactly a replacement for ls, but it's a handy utility to have. Now let's move to the next challenge here, which is level 0 to level 1. The password for the next level is stored in a file called readme located in the home directory. Use this password to log into the Bandit 1 using SSH. Okay, so essentially the command is the same as the previous one. It's just that we need to type in Bandit 1 right now and type the same password that we captured from the previous challenge. Okay, great. We are welcomed and ls. So you can see that there is a dash. Can I read this dash? Let's try. No, I can't. Why? Because cat is actually waiting for some input. So if I type in hello or I type in any sort of things, it's going to repeat itself. Not what I want. So how can I read this? Let's see, cat. If I type in dot, no, I cannot. If I type in, let's see, dot slash, can I do it? Yes, I can. So dot slash is actually telling us that this is the directory we are trying to, dot actually tells us the directory we're trying to have. So in fact, let me show you that. If I type in thunar, which is a file manager, dot, what it will do is it will use thunar to open up this file manager using the terminal. If I type in sudo and type in the password, now it is opened up as a root privileged user. Okay, so we have it. Let's copy this challenge, go over here, and I have bandit 0, so now I'm gonna type bandit 1, paste this one here, copy this, and yeah, let's exit from here. This level is cleared as well. Now we want level 1 to level 2. So the password for the next file is stored in a file called dash. Okay, so that is done. Did I clear the wrong level? I don't know. Anyway, so this is done, right? Where it is? What do we have here? Level 0, nope, level 1 to level 2. It was cleared. Okay, level 2 to level 3. Now the password for the next file is stored in a file called spaces in this file name. Okay, located in the home directory. Great. So all I have to do is, of course, type in bandit 2, sorry, bandit 2, and paste in this password that I previously had from the challenge. Why is it not working? Let's save this. Let's copy this. Let's try to copy this again and paste it here. Okay, so it worked. So here I have spaces in the file, and now if I try to cat this file and type in tab, you will see something. Okay, so it's not letting us do that. Stupid bash. Not a problem. Use double quotes, or you can use single quotes as well, and paste in this file name, because what happens is if you do not use the double quotes, it will interpret each of these words as a separate file, and we won't get anything because these are not separate files. This is just one file divided in spaces or separated by spaces. So now cat it, and we got our flag. Copy and sub bandit 1, not bandit 2. Paste it here. Great. So how many do I have? I have bandit 0, 1 and 2. I can just open them right here like this way, and now I'm feeling that I should change this. What's the word? What is this? Is it mousepad? I think so, probably. Okay, and then we have Bandit 1, Bandit 2. I can open them up right here. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.